optimizing locations to access healthy food options in the Twin Cities area. What are food deserts? Food deserts have been described as urban areas where people do not have access to an affordable and healthy diet, an area devoid of a supermarket creating access to healthy food to be limited, and a lack of opportunity to purchase affordable, quality, fresh, and healthy food. In my first article, Determinants of Food Deserts, Associations between Low-Income Minority Groups and Access to Large-Scale Grocery Stores is discussed. In this article, it is shown that there is not any meaningful evidence that urban communities with a high minority population or lower median income face less access to healthy foods, especially fresh fruits and vegetables. It also points out that while a food desert may not have access to healthy food options, they may have greater access to unhealthy ones. In my next article, I found the issue of supermarket location is discussed. This is an issue because once said supermarkets expand, smaller, independent neighborhood grocery stores close, thus making the larger grocery stores accessible only by car or public transportation, if it can be afforded. Additionally, it talks about how inaccurate perceptions of inner cities, such as high crime rates, cause the area to look much less desirable to business owners. In my final article on food deserts, it is discussed whether farmers markets help alleviate. As the previous slide alluded to, farmers markets have been thought of to make a great difference in providing access to fresh fruits and vegetables. BrightSide Produce has been doing just that since it was founded in 2014 as a collaboration between the University of St. Thomas and the Community Table Co-op Neighborhood Youth. BrightSide partners teens and university students to take entrepreneurial action and instill change in our community. Their mission is to eliminate food deserts within urban areas by bridging communities through community engagement and produce. They are economically sustainable as they fund themselves. Sale proceeds go to BrightSide's youth workers. Leftover produce is sold to the St. Thomas community, and BrightSide's activities are incorporated into academic programs such as communication class, an English class, a social work thesis, and a public health research program. For my project, I asked two research questions. First, where are areas within the Twin Cities that have a large population of vulnerable people that are poor, uneducated, and have young children? Also, using a 0.5-mile buffer, local demographics, and block group data, are current corner store locations in valuable locations where there is high vulnerability and lack of access to an affordable and healthy food source? As you can see, I use the ASC block group data to feature percent minors, percent poverty, and percent graduated high school, and then compiled said percentages in a calculation to show areas of high vulnerability based on my variables. In terms of data layers, I use the percentages below 25% as the amount of education graduated from high school, above 30% for poverty, and above 35% for percent under 18 years. Shown here are my three variables, percent poverty, percent graduated high school, and percent minors, all shown using a high to low value table. After observing the maps of my three variables, as well as using the data layers in my calculation to find the vulnerable areas, this map resulted. This map shows the 0.5-mile buffer around BrightSide corner stores. Here are the BrightSide corner store 0.5-mile buffer demographics. Shown as blue are the percentages for inside the 0.5-mile buffer, and in orange, the percentages for outside said buffer. For future research on this project, I would adjust the statistic for population without a high school degree, and I would change that to percent adults with only a high school diploma versus percent adults with less education, as right now, it includes the high population of minors in the area. Additionally, I would explore data showing percentages of community access to vehicles as well as areas of high crime rates. As for suggestions, I would consider expanding to the St. Paul area, not just the Minneapolis area. Also, I would expand BrightSide corner stores to even more areas within communities to show vulnerability to being a food desert. In conclusion, after observing shown maps showing Twin Cities areas of high vulnerability and the overlapping locations of current corner stores, it is obvious that BrightSide has done a remarkable job targeting areas that are exceptionally vulnerable to being classified as a food desert this far.